Today's guest is Zach Schuler, a multi-exit entrepreneur and cybersecurity expert who's built and sold multiple tech companies. He's the founder of Ninjio, a cybersecurity awareness platform focused on turning everyday people into the first line of defense. And his insights have been featured by Forbes, Verizon, and Gartner. If you've ever wondered how to be smarter and safer online, then this conversation is for you.
Welcome, Zach.
Thanks for having me.
We're so excited.
Much.
Zach's not only hugely involved in cyber safety, but he's also a personal friend of both of ours. And this topic couldn't be more fitting based on conversations we just had where I was hacked yesterday, where getting hacked used to feel very abstract, I guess. Like it wasn't something that happened to you personally. And now I feel like it's such a personal thing and it happens on a daily basis with all of our iPhones, with all of our online shopping. And I think this is such an important episode for people to hear and to hear you out and to intake this information and really use it to create a safe space for them in this, what do we call this world? The cyber world or
Sure. Yeah.
virtual world?
Yeah.
Virtual.
Yeah.
Just break it down like we're your 9-year-old daughters and like why we need to stay safe, how we can stay safe, and the choices that we make that makes us vulnerable.
Yeah. So I think probably the easiest way to talk about that is maybe give some examples of some of the most common ways that people are attacked by what we call in the industry bad actors. So bad actors is synonymous with hackers. Okay. Do y'all know what the term phishing means?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, with a PH.
Yeah.
Yes.
So let's just
Okay.
say what
But
it
why
is for our
don't you
listeners.
explain, in a
for our
short
listeners.
version of
For
what
sure.
that is?
So phishing is when you get an email or you get a text where somebody is trying to get you to do something. And most of the time it's to click on a link that is malicious, meaning that link, once you click on it, it's going to take you somewhere else and ask you to do something. And if you do it, a whole bunch of bad things can happen. In today's world of AI, phishing has now evolved into what's called hyper-personalized phishing. And so back in the day, what would happen is, Britney, if I wanted to get at you, the bad actor, I'd go on your LinkedIn, I'd go on your Facebook, I would go anywhere that I can find any information about you, but that is a manual process that would take me hours to collect enough information to then send you a very personalized phishing attack that you might click on, right? In today's world of AI, what happens is the bad actor will use software that will go out to every social media platform, everything, Nextdoor, Facebook Marketplace, all of these different places. They push one button, it gathers all this information, and not only on Britney, but on 10,000 or 100,000 other people that look just like Britney. It will then take that information that it's collected on the internet. It will create a hyper-personalized phishing attack where it will say something like, oh, I noticed that you had your blah, blah, blah for sale on Facebook Marketplace. And so it's got all this info.
Yeah.
AI is crafting the actual phishing attack, and it's sending it out to 10,000 people all at once.
So when you're talking about info, are you talking about birth date, height, hair color, friends, places you've been, places you've shopped in?
Yeah, so probably not birth date and height and stuff like that, but things that are going to be interesting to you or that are going to catch your attention or that are going to make you think that the email that you're getting is coming from somebody that you know or somebody that knows something about you. So clothing, what you've sold online, your friends, absolutely. Like, hey, I'm Jen, I'm friends with Britney too. Like that sort of stuff is very valuable to the AI bad actor.
And what's the ultimate goal is they want you to click on a link.
Yes.
And pay something, or do they get your credit card?
Yeah, so it's a great question. And it could be 1,000 different things. I'll give you a couple of examples. The first example would be you would click on the link, and normally what's going to happen is another dialog box will come up. and it'll say either yes or no, allow, don't allow, whatever. Way too many people click yes or allow. That's what executes what's called the payload, and that's what happens. Now, the first, probably most common payload is they will execute what's called a keystroke logger. And so now your computer has a piece of software on it, so every key you type is going right back to the bad actor. What does that mean? You go to your wellsfargo.com, you type in your email address, you type in your password, boom, right back to the bad actor.
Is there a way for us to know that it's on our computer?
If you have good antivirus software that you pay a subscription to and that is kept up to date, I would say 99 times out of 100, it will detect and block a keystroke logger from being installed.
Can you have this on your iPad or your iPhone, or is it?
It can happen on iOS, anything, but it is much less likely. iOS is just much more secure with third-party applications getting installed. So this is most likely going to happen on your computer.
And what does iOS mean? Is that just like the iPhone?
Oh yeah, like iOS is iPhone operating system, iPad operating
because
system.
I heard that you can't get hacked on your iPhone.
That's not true.
Okay.
You can. It's just a lot less frequent and it's a lot more difficult.
Is that because they have like a built-in software, or?
That's because they run what's called a closed platform, where to get any piece of software on, and software can be the malicious software like the keystroke logger, to get any of that to install on iOS, it has to go through Apple and it has to be scrutinized by Apple to be allowed. So like every app in the App Store has to go through Apple to be allowed to be in the App Store. Whereas, if you have a phone running like Google's operating system, their security standards or their ability to let people in is a little less and probably not quite as secure. They run a bit more of an open platform.
Okay, so to dummy it down for someone like me, I need to have a security software subscription that
on your computer.
Okay.
What are
Absolutely.
Do you have two companies off the top of your head that you
Trend Micro and Sophos.
Okay.
I definitely don't have those right
Okay.
now, but I will by the end of the day.
Okay. So those
before
two,
this airs, so no one can get you.
Yes, exactly, because this will air weeks later.
Yeah,
I'm going to be all set up with my team.
Yeah, and then for the iPhone, I use an application called Lookout.
Okay.
So you think it's two different, but would your iPhone and your iPad be considered the same?
Correct. Yeah,
Okay,
they're both
and then
running
your
iOS.
computer- okay.
Yeah, so I would put Lookout on any iOS device that you
and do you
Okay.
have this on your kids' phones and their computers as well?
Yeah.
I feel like the worst mom.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
Yeah.
I'm so happy
Well,
you're
you're
here.
not the worst mom. You're a great mom, but
I'm just not responsible.
yeah.
He's like, you're not the worst mom. You're like kind of a bad mom.
Yeah, I'm like mid.
Okay.
That's okay. But now I'm going to be an amazing mom.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm helping you up the bar.
Yes,
with
this
your
is why you're
kids.
here. We need
Absolutely,
this. We
yeah.
had this conversation. I'm like, we need Zach. I'm so frustrated. My mom actually got hacked. She had to go buy, okay, let's talk about this. She had to go buy the gift cards or that whole thing. And she had not, for older people, at least for me, sometimes they'll take a picture of a fishy looking email. I'll put it through ChatGPT initially. And they're like, nope, that's not it. Don't do that.
Right.
Is that the best way to do it? Like if you get something that you're curious, like, is this real?
It looks like a
put
phishing.
it through chat? Or?
It's a good way to do it. Unfortunately, with just a photo, chat's not able to look at all the metadata behind that. And so like the domain that it's coming from could look legitimate, but it could be spoofed. And so really what you need is the actual email. And then there's a pretty simple process where you basically look at the email. There's a button you can click to look at the email header, and you just want to make sure that the domain it says it's coming from, like Brazilian Professionals, is actually Brazilian Professionals on the back end. And if I had a computer, I could show you how to do it. Now it's really simple to do, but that's like one way you can tell if it's a phishing attack or not.
It's really sad for elderly people because your mom's not the first person I've heard this happening to, where they get phished for even people who they're like think they're dating and they're talking to that are asking
Yeah.
for money, and they end up sending money, you know, really thinking they're developing this great relationship. And, you know, a lot of these people they have such a small savings for, you know, their life savings, and they're giving this away to people.
That's
Well, no,
right.
what's the deal? Why are they going and buying gift cards and just reading the gift cards? That's because it's not trackable.
Yeah. So what happens in the gift card scam, and it's funny because this almost happened to one of my employees. So I hired a guy. He announced on LinkedIn that he's now working for Ninjio. And so he gets a targeted attack where the bad actor purports to be me, creates like a fake email address with a fake domain, sends the email to this kid who's working for me, and it says, please go to Best Buy and buy $4,000 worth of gift cards.
On his
Why?
own card?
On his first day,
Wow.
on his own card.
Is he like, I'm being tested?
But does it say why?
It says, I need to get these out to our best clients immediately.
From you.
And it was around the holidays.
Whoa.
Okay. So, funny story, he goes to Best Buy, he goes to the cashier, and he says, I need $4,000 worth of gift cards. And the cashier is like, where did you get this request from?
Smart.
And he said, my CEO. And she was like, have you texted him or called him to verify? He's like, no, he just sent it. And he said, I need to do it immediately. And so he calls me, I'm on the golf course, and he's like, did you just ask me to, go buy $4,000 worth? I'm like, no, I did not. No, don't do it. He's like, I didn't do it. But had he done it, the bad actor then, me, would have said, I just need you to scratch the back off the gift card, take a photo of it, and then send it to me, because then I'm going to use that number on bestbuy.com as my gift card. I'm going to purchase merchandise, and it's going to be shipped and gone, and like.
So once you send that, immediately they have access to that.
Correct.
There's no way
once they have that number, like
there's
that
no
number
way you
is.
can call Best Buy and like, hey, block this. This was fraud.
I mean, if you, by the time he's scratched off the number, and they get that picture back, and they go online and buy whatever, it's done. There's no gap of time in between to speak of.
Nowadays, is there someone, like you said, like a bad actor, someone sitting on the other side, like an actual human, or is this all AI doing this now?
It depends on what the attack is, but in the gift card scam, it's probably a human. It's probably not a human when they're targeting who to go and do the gift cards for, but the action taken after the fact is probably a human. But every attack is it's different. Like the age of AI has changed everything.
I'm going to give you a interesting example of something that happened to a really good friend of mine. This is scary. And she didn't know how it happened. It was from her phone. And she didn't know, she has young children. She didn't know if they were on there, because sometimes my kids do this where they'll take my phone, they'll download a game, and it says click here to go further, click here. Well, when she got her phone later on in the afternoon, went to check on it, she said it was very glitchy. And then her whole iPhone was hacked. I'm talking her cloud, her photos were taken, everything. Just poof, gone. Credit card information. So everything that lived on that iPhone was compromised. And I don't think she was able to get back in the iPhone.
That's right.
So I don't understand, like, how can someone get into an iCloud if it's supposedly protected?
Well, it's not protected.
And what do they want with your pictures?
It's protected by a username and a password, right? I mean, I can go to iCloud.com, put in my username and my password. It'll then ask for a prompt, right, on my phone, like make sure this was me. Boom, I hit yes, it was. So you bring up a really good example here, because we're going to talk about another thing that happens very often. It's called password recycling. And so I'm going to ask you to.
It sounds like something.
And we can even ask the team, show of hands, how many people have used the same username, i.e. email address, and password on multiple websites? And when I say multiple, I mean 2 or more. Show of hands. Have we used the same username and password? Okay, every hand went up.
Yeah.
So what happens is, if you use the same email address and password on 50 different websites, for example, and a bad actor breaches one of those sites, and that site had weak security and wasn't encrypting your username and password on their backend, on their software, and they get access to that just with one username and password, they know that you've used it all over the place. So they'll then put your email address and password into a piece of software that will try to log into 10,000 other sites automatically. And chances are, if you've used it on 50 different sites, they're going to get hits on where else you can be breached and where else you can be vulnerable. And so the way that you may have been compromised by your email could have been through password recycling. Just about any time somebody's email address, username and email address is compromised, it's because they've been breached somewhere else and they've been able to get in. Now, in the iCloud example, it might be the same username and password you've used elsewhere. They have that. They put it in. They get into iCloud. And then what happens? You get a notification and you're like, well, wait a minute. I didn't try and log into iCloud. Why am I getting this notification? And if you really don't know what's going on, you're probably going to click no. And then they execute what's called multi-factor authentication. I just lost the term, fatigue, MFA fatigue. Multi-factor authentication, just in simple terms, is when there's that third piece of information, right? You've got your email address, you've got your password, but then you set up MFA to send you a text or to send you a notification to your phone, right? That's multi-factor or two-factor authentication. So in an MFA fatigue example, they might have your username and your password for your iPhone, for your iCloud. They log in, you get the notification, and iCloud's probably not the best example because they send a notification and a code, but lots of others just send a yes or no notification. And then all of a sudden, you're getting pounded in 30 minutes with 1,000 yes or no, yes or no, yes or no, yes or no. And so a lot of people, believe it or not, they'll be like, I just want these notifications to go away. And they click yes. And now they're in. And that could be your bank account. That could be anywhere where you're using two-factor authentication.
So if that happens, you just keep clicking no.
You keep clicking no, and the
what if
first
you turn
thing,
your phone off?
You can do that too, and then you don't get anything. But
until you turn it back on.
Until you turn it back on, and then they're still there. That's absolutely true. The biggest takeaway from that is that if you start getting multi-factor authentication notifications on your phone and you didn't execute them, meaning you weren't trying to log into iCloud or Google or whatever, somebody has your email address and password for that application.
So how do you obviously the reason we're using the same password and username is because we don't want to remember all
That's
these.
right.
And like if you write it down or you put it in your phone or you have it somewhere, it can get compromised. So what do you do?
Yeah.
What's the
Great question.
Is there a password company we go with?
Yes. So
because they had that, right?
It.
Like if they I'll put in a password, they'll say like, here's the password we suggest from you, and it's all the crazy numbers, and then you could save that. Is that what you think?
That's exactly what you should do. Yeah.
Okay.
So
They're
well, here's the
they're
thing.
long and they're
you're
crazy.
never going to remember that password,
Yeah.
and you're not supposed to. It's the software is not designed
so
to
you
give
have
you
to
this
remember
crazy
it, you
password.
have to change it every time.
No.
What happens is when you have that piece of software, so good pieces of software would be Dashlane, 1Password, NordPass. When you have that software on your computer, it synchronizes with your phone, with your iPad, with all of your devices. And as you're setting up that new account, it comes up with this crazy complex password, right? You say save. Then when you try and log in to that account next time, it will automatically populate your username and that super complex password.
What if you get a new phone? Because you know how it makes you redo all your...
So it stores that information basically in a vault online that is highly encrypted with the most sophisticated cryptology. And so you get a new phone, you download the app, you will have what's called a master password, which is the only one password that you have to remember, okay? And once you enter in that master password, then it will give you access to all of your other passwords. And now you're saying, well, what if somebody gets access to my master password? And they can, if they have a keystroke logger on your phone or on your computer. But the key to the master password is to make sure that it's very long and very complex. And I will give you an example of a great master password for you. It would be, I love Gucci handbags. That would be the password. You would passwords allow for spaces.
Okay.
And then,
I didn't know that.
The I could be a number 1, and at the end of handbags, the S could be a $sign. Okay. But in the world of passwords, the longer the password, the better. And so if you create a complex master password that gives you access to all of your other passwords, then you're pretty darn safe.
It's funny because I have, like, my password I'm using now, I think is like so bulletproof. Like
Yeah, what is it?
No, because then you have access to everything. But I did have that. I was compromised. And it's like, now I'm sure it's because I'm recycling and I'm using it in so many places.
And it doesn't matter how complex it is.
The only place that I don't use the same one is where it says you've used this password before.
Right.
You now have to use something else. And then I'm like, oh, I have to come up with something good.
But I have that.
And it's memorizing it. It's so hard.
But I have that on the Save My Passwords right on my phone. Is that something like not a good thing to have? Because it'll, like, if I log into like if I go onto my iPhone, it'll say certain things. And then if I click on, say, like American Airlines, it'll say,
Sure,
this password's been compromised.
Oh.
So then I have to change the password to something different.
That's great. Yeah. There are a couple of password manager companies that will detect if that password has been compromised. And so that's great. That
Do you have
your
a
software
program
does
that you have on your phone?
I don't think so, because all of this is new to me. That's why we really wanted you on this show, because I'm, this
Well,
is
if
not
you're
my
getting
jam,
that notification,
then I must have something.
you have something good on your phone that's
Okay.
providing you with that data.
What
Yeah.
about the storing your password? You know how, like, you now use your face for your iPhone and it
Sure.
just says, do you want us to remember your password?
Yeah, that's called a pass key.
Is that okay to do?
That's okay to do. So if it's using a pass key to remember your password, then that's okay.
Okay. And you always want to try and do that second verification, or no?
Anytime you can do multi-factor authentication, MFA, 2FA, anytime you can do that on any website,
Okay.
it's the best.
Okay.
And really, to avoid some of the MFA stuff, using it the old school way where you get a text with a code, because then you're just going to get all of these codes. You won't even know, like, where to log into or anything. That's a tried and true way to use MFA.
If your hair is changing, thinning, shedding, or just not feeling like you, Leaf and Flower was made for this season of life. Their plant-based formulas are powered by a CBD corrective complex, THC-free, to help balance the scalp and support stronger, healthier-looking hair without harsh ingredients. I'm obsessed with the phytomolecular oil. It restores shine and softens without weighing the hair down. And the Tame and Fix Flyaway Stick, it's a must for frizz and wiry hairs. I keep them everywhere. Because growth doesn't stop at 40. It just needs the right support. Try Leaf and Flower and feel the difference today. Use code WhatShe15 for 15% off at leafandflower.com.
So I want to talk about social media safety.
Okay.
Is there any tricks to keep yourself safe?
Yeah, I would say, there's two. Anytime you have a public account, which we all do, right? you're opening yourself up to what we talked about with AI looking at your account and understanding who you are. Because AI can look at pictures, it'll determine like what clothing you like, like who your friends are, all of that sort of stuff, how you talk, which we'll get into that. And so if your account is public, you are much more likely to have AI gather information on you that it could then use in an attack. So you're saying, look, I'm an influencer, I run a podcast, I can't have a public or a private account.
Yes. Yeah.
So really at that point, it just comes down to being super vigilant. Like when you see an email that comes through with a link, even if it's from Britney, it looks like it's from Britney, but you're not really expecting it. It seems a little weird. Send her a text. Mm-hmm. Did you just send me this email? Did you just send me this DM? Any DMs that you get, scrutinize those 100-fold.
Before you open it, just when you see like the little
Well,
first
no,
line.
you can open the DM.
Yeah.
That's likely not going to be dangerous. But if
the link.
they're asking you to do anything, like, or they're even
scary.
asking you to enter into a conversation, just don't do it. Mm-hmm. Because, yeah, we can talk about what happens once you enter into a conversation, either through a DM or the most popular thing today is the wrong number text
Oh, yeah.
that you get.
Yes,
Yeah.
which I ignore. Yes.
Why are
So
they
what?
doing
Yeah.
that?
What is that?
Okay.
So if you answer that, what happens? I
Yeah.
get a couple a day.
Okay. So
Is this still your number, Brittany?
this is the number one attack. This is the most expensive attack, according to the FBI, in the last probably 24 months.
Wow.
And this is how it goes down. They send you a text, are you playing golf today? Right? And that might come to me. And I'm like, no, I'm not, but who is this? And then like, oh, I'm so sorry. I must have texted the wrong person, but do you golf? Mm-hmm. I do. Where do you play? I play here. Oh, that's great. I play there every once in a while as well. Are you single? I am. Oh, here's a photo of me. Oh, and so what they're doing is they're creating a relationship with you online. Then what happens is you get into the conversation and they say, well, what do you do for a living? I do this. What do you do for a living? And the bad actor will say, I'm an investment manager. And they'll say something like, I've made 20x returns over the past 36 months. They'll send you a PDF with their track record. And then you might say, wow, I would love to invest with you, but I'm a little skeptical because I don't really know who you are. And they'll say something like, well, just send me $500. And you're like, okay. And so they create this fake Schwab looking account or website. You send them the $500. They set you up on the website. And then all of a sudden, like a week and a half later, you look at it and the 500 has turned into 3,500.
Wow.
And you're just like, wow.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And then you test it.
Oh,
And you're like,
God.
is this real? You withdraw the 3,500. And guess what? It
comes-
actually
yeah.
comes to you. And so if you stop right there, the bad actor just made $3,000, or you made $3,000 off the bad actor.
Yeah.
But what normally happens is you're like, okay, this is real. I'm going to send you my 3,000 back, but now I want to send you 20,000.
Mm-hmm.
And then you look at you log in 4 days later, your $23,500 is now 45,000. And you're like, this is insane. They're making these this crazy amount of money. Now I want to send you 100,000. And it just keeps going and they keep getting money out of you. The technical term for this is called a pig butchering scam. And so you can actually go to our website, ninjio.com, ninjio.com/PBS. We did an episode on this in conjunction with the FBI to educate the population. Let me finish what happens on the attack. So now you've given them, and I know of one victim where this is a true story. Now you've given them $1.3 million.
Wow.
Okay. And then you say, you know what? I've had a great run. I need to withdraw 500,000 of that. And they say, okay, to withdraw, you actually need to pay a 12% fee to get the money out if you want it out in the next week. And then you're like, I'm getting a little nervous here. Yes, I want my money out. I pay the 12% fee. So now you've just paid 12% on $500,000. So they just got more money out of you. And then they'll continue that sort of like, if you want it now, you need to pay this. And then, blah, 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 blah. Long story short, all of a sudden, the website you were logging into evaporates. It's gone. And there's no communication anymore. And now you've just been taken for $1.3 million. And that is the most expensive scam that is going on right now.
It's crazy because how could you verify? Like if someone sent, obviously I'm not going to fall for it because I'm not going to engage with anybody who I don't know their number. But how do you verify if someone says, oh, there's this? I had an example of something silly that happened to me, but I was trying to buy animals, like little mini cows and stuff for my husband. And
wait, like real ones or stuffed ones?
Real ones.
Oh, okay.
You know Devin.
Yeah. You know them.
That's his love language. So I was trying to buy him these beautiful like miniature Highlanders and they sent me gorgeous pictures, and then I went to the website, like their Instagram page, it was real. I went to their website and then he asked me to send the deposit.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, I'd like to see a few more pictures. And he sent me a few more pictures. And then I sent a small deposit, not a big one. It was a small one. And I was secured my one animal that I got from him. And then I went the next morning and there's no website. There's no DM.
Yeah.
And I'm like, thank God I didn't fall prey to, but how do you verify? Because it looked real. There was an Instagram page.
Yeah.
There was and Devin's like, you just got taken by someone in God knows where.
There's a bunch of ways. I mean, first, look for a legitimate website. Sometimes they'll have it. If they have it, call the phone number on the website. Talk to the person in person. You can put the person's name and phone number into chat and see if there's a match. Like, yes, this really is that person's phone number. Actually, for that, I'd probably use Grok. Grok is better on like background checking and stuff like that.
Is that like an AI?
Yeah, Grok.com. It's
Okay.
Elon's X.AI. It's Elon's company.
Okay.
So you just have to, talking to the person on the phone, if they send you a text and it's green, then it's more likely to be from a burner number. If it's blue and you're on
a green text, have you?
Like green is from somebody who would have an
an Android
phone
device or a burner phone.
Yeah.
It'll show up in green on an iPhone. If it's from an iPhone, it'll show up in blue. That's going to be a much better indication that is a real number coming from a real phone. Okay. So it's just a matter of make sure they have a web, talk to them in person. And
I'll never make that mistake.
And then say, can you do a FaceTime video?
Right.
Yeah.
Of what I'm buying.
But I think this is a big problem going back to like FBI, because these micro mini animal, you could do with anything, a car. And now we're so instant gratification. It's like you see it on Instagram. They say, you DM them, they get right back to you. So I think it goes on such a massive level that I would imagine that the FBI, you probably do videos about this.
Yeah. The FBI, unfortunately, they're so overwhelmed with these sorts of things that unless it crosses a particular monetary threshold, they won't even get involved.
A mini Highland cow, I don't think.
Yeah, so it's got to be, I don't know what the number is.
$200 that I wanted back.
Yeah, but if it's like $500,000 or more, they'll get their team involved. But even when they get their team involved,
They're so overworked.
there's so little that they can actually do.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question about Ninjio.
Sure.
Does the FBI come to you guys and say, create these videos in particular based on stuff that we're seeing out in the cyber world?
They do, yes. And so they'll come to us with a request like, hey, this is going on. The one that we did for them in 2017, a long time ago, it was called the Homeless Home Buyer. And it was where somebody had basically sent their life savings to a fake escrow when they were putting their down payment on a home.
Oh, that's awful.
And so we did an episode on that. And what we do is when the FBI requests that we do an episode, we'll do it, we'll release it out to our clients, but then we'll give it to them and the FBI will publish it on different FBI websites and they'll do road shows and they'll show it to people in big audiences and all that kind of stuff. And so, yeah, we just do it as a public service.
Is there a setting, are there specific settings on your iPhone that you need to have on or off to protect yourself?
There are quite a few that I would recommend. A lot of it has just come out with the new iOS. And you can filter unknown callers, right? And so they go straight to voicemail. You can filter unknown text messages. So if they're not in your contacts, they're going to go to another, place. There are some other more complex things, like I think it's called key contact validation, that you can turn on. Sometimes it just makes communicating more difficult sometimes. But yes, I'm not an expert on how to lock down an iPhone just because I know what's real and what's not. But certainly if you went to chat and you said, give me all the best settings to lock down my iPhone.
And for our children too.
Yeah, and for the kids.
Yeah.
For the kids, it's critical that you have something on their phone like Life 360 or something of that nature so you can track them, you can see what they're doing online. You can set screen time limits. You can do all sorts of great things with an application like that. And I can't recommend, an application like that enough. It's super important.
Here's one basic thing that I know that Jen is guilty of it, and so am I. Well, I don't know if you are, but I definitely am. Is sending your credit card information via text and via email. You buy stuff like from a store and they say, oh, just send your credit card. You know it is that store, but just some of your credit card details. And instead of like them sending you a link where you would put it in, you have a relationship with this person. So you're like, here's my details.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I definitely am guilty of that.
I think we all are. I think in that case, if you have a relationship, pick up the phone, call them, give them the credit card information. I don't think having it texted or emailed in that moment is necessarily a bad thing. However, you now have it digitally stored forever, and you said your email was compromised. I'm sure the first thing that they're going to do is they're going to look through every email that you've ever sent, and they're going to look for your credit card number. And if you haven't locked that credit card number down, it's being used as we speak.
That's fun.
Let's talk about, I've looked up certain people for business and I couldn't find anything about them online. So many times I'll look up somebody and then their home address comes up. How do we protect that personal information from being online?
How do you protect?
Like my own address or, personal information from being online?
You don't. And the reason is because in so many cases, you've had to give up your personal address. You've had to give up something.
Right. Every time I shop.
Sure. And that store that you shopped at gets breached. And now that information has probably been released to the dark web. And then it's, somebody's gotten their hands on it and they've published it in some other like legitimate application. It's nearly impossible.
And that's what happens, like if a company gets breached, like, a business, a doctor's office,
Right.
or a dentist, they take that personal information, they sell it. Is that what they do? Or it goes?
Yeah. I mean, if we want to talk about what can happen in that circumstance, it gets a lot worse than that. And so if a business is breached, and especially one that has information protected by HIPAA, which is like medical, right? Or an attorney's office that has a lot of confidential and sensitive information on it.
I mean, how terrifying.
If one person in the office falls for a phishing attack, and then that phishing attack launches ransomware, which is basically where every computer gets locked up so the business is shut down, you'll get a screen saying, go to this website, pay me, 2 Bitcoin, and I'll give you a key to unlock your computers. And normally, if you do that, they will give you a key and your computers will be unlocked and everything will go away, because these people are in business and they don't want to have a reputation of like taking your money and then not giving you the key. Okay. So normally, and I shouldn't, the FBI would kill me for saying this. Normally people will pay the ransom and the ransom person will get away with it. Here's where it gets really bad, is not only are your computers locked down, but they put a keystroke logger on. And so now they're able to get into your business applications that might be storing all of this medical information on the patients. And they will siphon all of that medical information from the patients off. And not only will you have to pay to get your computers unlocked, you will have to pay so that they don't release all of that information onto the internet. This happens over and over.
I know
over
some people
again.
that this happened to. It's terrible.
Yeah, absolutely terrible. And it can cost
Millions.
It can cost millions.
And there's nothing that there's no like repercussions for these people. They don't know how to find them. They don't.
I mean, the FBI works every day to locate these people, and they do find them.
But it's
and
weird
they
that
get
there's
and they
no
get busted.
software that can like decrypt whatever those.
Yeah, I mean there is, but the bad actors are so good, and many times they're in different countries.
Yeah.
Where, the government even makes money off of, taxing what they make off of their hacking.
It's so scary to me.
Yeah.
I had my social media taken down, and then my friend recommended this one guy to help me who did not live in this country. And so he got me back up, which I thought was odd, like somebody in Turkey, like helping me get my social media. And then I had to like wire him money. That was odd. And then the friend that referred me, some of her friends started coincidentally, their stuff started getting taken down as well. And they hired him again and him again. And then he reached out to me later and was like, hey, and I blocked him. And then he would try, hey, remember me? And so I just started blocking him. And then what's the like,
Do you think
it's not a WhatsApp, it's the other one that
Signal.
it's like more underground. Like I had it and my son was like, Mom, are you doing a drug deal? It's like one of those.
Got it.
I want to say Viber, but I know that's something else.
Yeah, I know.
There's one called Signal that's used. I know what you're talking about, but the name's not coming.
Yeah,
right
it's not
now.
coming.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I connected to him on that, and then he reached out to me. So I just took the app off my phone.
So is he taking down
So
other
I always
people's?
I think that he was like,
It's very likely
yeah.
he was taking people's stuff down that were in your friend group,
that's
and then a friend would recommend
wild.
him to get it back up.
yeah, exactly,
Smart.
and scary. And they're like, what do you do for that? That's what can you do?
The number of scams that people are coming up with every day just keeps getting bigger.
And it's
going to
get worse
And
with
it's
all
gonna-
this AI.
With AI, it's just going to get worse. I mean, there's some really crazy stuff that can be done with AI. Yeah.
It's what scares me about that is the voice thing. Like if your kids are calling you and
Yeah.
they do have that because I put my kids on my social media, and so now they have their voice and.
Yeah.
Like,
so
how- how do
You just
you-
brought something up that I was hoping you would, actually. Do you have your phone?
Vibrating over here.
Okay. You should have gotten a voicemail from an unknown number.
While we've been sitting here?
Maybe it came a little earlier, but see if you have a voicemail from an unknown number. And if you do, I'd like for you to
I
play
have
it.
someone who said, are you golfing today? I'm kidding.
Oh, okay.
I feel like this is like The Mentalist. Like, what's happening here?
I do. I have a 424 number.
Okay. Why don't you play that?
Hang on. I'm not too.
Got to put it on speaker.
How do you do speaker on here?
Can we help you?
Wait, how do I do speaker?
Let's see.
We might need the tech up.
I don't have much time. I'm in a really bad situation right now. I got picked up earlier and I'm at a station. They won't let me talk long. Please don't call anyone yet. I'm embarrassed and I don't want this blowing up before I can explain it to you. They're saying I need a lawyer immediately or I'm going to be stuck here overnight, maybe longer.
That's scary.
I can't access my accounts and they won't let me make more calls. There's an attorney handling this. I'll text you the details. They need a wire sent as soon as possible so I can get released. I hate asking you like this, but you're the only person I trust right now. Please just take care of it. I promise I'll explain everything when I'm out. I love you. Please hurry.
Brittany, who is that?
That's my husband.
That's your husband.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So what are you going to do?
What he said to do. I'm going to freak out.
You're going to freak out. There's going to be a text message that comes through, and it'll have a number for an attorney. You'll call, the attorney will pick up, and he'll ask what you're calling about, and you'll say, my husband, Devin. And he'll say, yeah, he was involved in a car accident. He was drinking, and the person that he hit is in critical condition. And he is being held on $1 million bail. And I've got all the details. I can represent him, but I need you to wire me $100,000 so I can get him out of jail close to immediately. And so you wire the $100,000 to this attorney who's in on the scam, and your $100,000
So the
is
attorney
gone.
will talk to me. Like I'll have somebody else on the other end.
That's right. That's right. And so this is happening now. Well, let me actually back up.
How do they get the voice though? Like how?
Perfect. Thank you. That's where I'm backing up to. So
Wait, let me make this clear though. This isn't really my husband.
this is not your husband. That he did not leave that message.
Yes.
Your husband is not in trouble.
Right.
What
Sounds just like him.
what I did was I went to places where I could find your husband's voice. I think he's been on this podcast, yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, that's weird.
So I found his voice. I took his voice, I put it into a piece of software, and I typed in the script that I wanted him to say.
Frightening.
And that piece of software generated that script in Devin's voice. I then called you from an unknown number, which most of us, when we get a call from an unknown number, what do? We decline it.
Mm-hmm.
I then just played that as if it were a voicemail. I played it off of my computer. And that's how you got that. And so...
But this is like a simple one that anyone who has a little bit of technology, or they're technologically savvy, they can do this, right? Like if they know.
That's right.
Oh, that's scary.
That's absolutely right. That piece of software exists legally for creatives.
Yeah. Well, so now.
And they're using it all the time.
I remember I had an Instagram reel about my closet, and I played it. And I was fluent in Spanish. I am speaking in Spanish. I'm rolling those R's. I'm doing like the best job. I was so proud of myself, but it wasn't me. And I was like, how am I speaking Spanish? So that's a new thing with AI where they take your voice and they
that's
actually
so
change
weird.
language
Yeah,
in your voice, in your tones.
It's called deepfake audio.
That's
is
scary.
what that is. Where it's most common, and to be on the lookout for it, are kids that are usually between the ages of like 16 and 22. So like think they just got their driver's license or they're in college. And so what happens when they get in trouble, quote unquote, they're going to call their parents and they're going to leave a message just like that. Right. And now you're freaking out because it's your kid and your kid's in jail.
So the first thing you do is you contact that person to see.
Number one, yes. So in your example, number one, you call and text Devin until you're blue in the face. Like, can you pick up the phone? And he might be like, yeah, hey babe, I'm barbecuing some Semler cattle beef.
That's right.
Right. And then you're like, so you're not in jail? No, what are you talking about? Scam over.
Okay.
Right. Number two, have, Devin and your whole family should all be sharing locations with each other. So if you can't get a hold of him, you go and you find where's his location.
Right. Yeah.
If his location is not in county jail and he's on the farm somewhere or he's on the golf course somewhere, it's pretty much, you can guarantee it's a scam.
So you like
right?
Life 360. What about Find My Friends? Is there a different?
No. So in Apple's iOS, they have Find My.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it can be, people in your family, it can be devices, it can be a whole number of things.
Okay.
And so that's native in iOS, in Apple's operating system. Yeah, if you're using an Android, I'm sure there's similar technology. I'm just not familiar with it.
Yeah, that's great.
That's scary. That's really scary. So in light of today, the conversation, what are like the two biggest takeaways for our listeners? Like, I'm thinking number one is the protection, which you
The
and I
software
are going to
for
the
your-
software protection.
For your phone.
Yeah,
Your
I would
computer.
say if I had to rank all of these, you can break it down by technology and behavior. If we're talking about technology, I think the number one thing I would do is get a password manager. And then it's a painstaking process, but go back, especially through your important accounts, bank accounts that have like good personal information about you, et cetera, et cetera. Go in, change the password. The password manager will suggest a password, use it, save it, download that software on your phone, on your computer, on your iPad, anywhere where you're going to connect, right? Worst case scenario, you're at a friend's house, you need to log into something, you don't have your password on you, you can change your password, right? As long as you have the right credentials to change your password. But I would say number one, technologically, is a password manager.
Okay.
Number two would just be, yes, keeping your computers up to date with an antivirus subscription, with antivirus that you actually pay for, right? So it's like the good version, not the free stuff.
And do you always pay for the highest?
A lot of those have like fluffy features like identity protection and, that sort of stuff. And so I would say if you don't already have identity protection stuff turned on, then sure. But just the basic stuff that's going to protect you from malware and other malicious software.
Okay.
Behaviorally, I think that's probably the most important part. And the reason why is that 76% of all breaches are due to human error. Okay, they're not due to some sophisticated guy that is trying to break in through the firewall into the computers, et cetera, et cetera. That's the vast minority of attacks, and certainly on individuals, vast minority. The majority, and I would say in the individual world, it's probably closer to 90% of breaches are due to human error. And that just means slow down and be vigilant. If something doesn't look right and you have any ounce of an odd feeling about it, don't click the link. And when your day is rushed and you're trying to get through stuff, you got to slow down and you really have to scrutinize everything that's coming through. And if you don't have time to scrutinize it right then, wait until later to check your email until you do have time to scrutinize it. And then the bad actors, they prey on our emotions. They prey on fear, on obedience, on greed, on a bunch of different other things. And so you have to realize that you are being socially engineered, and there's an emotion at play, urgency in the gift card case, right? Do it right now. And so anytime you sense this emotional thing that someone's trying to get you to do, that's a telltale sign that you are, subject to a breach, or that someone's trying to attack you.
Another thing is to have a password with your family. So like my boys and I have a password. When they were little, it started out with when the kids are like trying to figure out a soul and they're like, Mom, how do we know it's really you? Like they're confusing aliens with the moms, and I'm like, let's have a password so we know that it's just me and you. So my boys and I each individually have our own private password, but I think it's great for your husband or your family to say like, this is our private password. So we'll say, if they call you in a panic, what's the password? And if they don't have it, then you don't do it.
Yeah. It's like the person picking your kids up from school. Remember that when we were little? You don't get in the car unless they say apples are green.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. That is a very simple way, especially in the world of AI, where it could be, because deepfake audio has evolved now. Like that was a recorded message, but deepfake audio has evolved to where you could think that you're talking to Devin in real time. It's a bad actor synthesizing Devin's voice and answering you
Oh, wow. That's
in real
scary.
time.
Conversational. That's
right?
scary.
So then you say, wait a minute,
Yeah.
what's the family password?
That's a great idea.
And then the bad actor's not going to know what that is.
That's a great
And then you're
idea.
like, okay, I'm
I'm
not
doing that
talking to you.
tonight.
Yeah.
Click.
Yeah. I love this. This has been amazing.
I know.
I want to talk a little bit about your podcast. You're new to podcasting.
I am, yeah.
I'm excited for you.
Thank you.
Tell us about it.
So I'm doing it with a really, really good friend of mine that is, going through some hard stuff in life, and as a lot of us are. And it's called Foundational F-Bombs. And we talk about faith, family, friendship, fatherhood, finance, fitness, all the good F words.
That's a great name.
And thank you. And so
We like the bad F words over here.
yeah, we do too sometimes, but that's it. And we're just getting started. The guy that I'm doing it with, Paul, is a former Major League Baseball player, and so he's good friends with all of these athletes, and so we're gonna have good connections to be able to bring like high caliber talent onto the show, and really it's about taking kind of a vow of vulnerability.
Yeah.
And so that we get people to actually open up about things, and we don't ask them questions that they've been asked a million times before.
That's so great. Because for men, that's not really easy being vulnerable.
It's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is disarming when you guys have a safe space. I think that's going to be really successful.
Yeah. Well, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, a fun listen. And where does everyone find you? These specific things like Ninjio, the podcast.
Sure. So if anybody has any questions about cybersecurity stuff, or you're interested in Ninjio, you can email me at Zach, ZACK, at ninjio.com, NINJIO.com. That's probably the easiest way. I'm also Zach _Schuler on Instagram is my handle. Or you can go onto YouTube and look up Foundational F-Bombs, and our stuff's up there as well.
Amazing.
And Spotify, Apple, it's on all those.
Spotify, Apple, yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
We'll put it in all the show notes.
All right.
Well, thank you so much. It's so needed and so interesting to hear all these different techniques that we can use to help protect ourselves, and we'll have what you're protecting.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Zach.
All right.
If this episode resonated with you, send it to a friend. And while you're here, take a second to rate, review, and drop a comment. It helps us more than you know. If you're watching on YouTube, hit subscribe for behind the scenes footage and exclusive short clips you won't see anywhere else.